Welcome to today's Explainer. We are distilling the absolute ultimate 2026 Solopreneur playbook. We're going to compare the two most powerful paths to independence right now, building digital creator ventures versus launching physical, local services.
So, let's just dive right in, shall we? What does it actually take to break free from the traditional 9-to-5 without, relying on some massive corporation? Well, we're going to look at the real data, the actual startup costs, and the true profit margins behind these modern businesses to figure that out. Here's our step-by-step roadmap for today. We'll quickly cover the solopreneur landscape, picking a profitable niche, the economics of starting up, acquiring customers, scaling and diversifying, and finally protecting your business.
All right, Section 1, the solopreneur landscape, digital versus physical.
Right off the bat, you've really got two main paths looking ahead to 2026. On one hand, there's the massive digital creator economy. Think faceless YouTube channels, super specialized podcasts, and digital products. Here, you're building a global media audience straight from your laptop. On the flip side, we have physical services, like mobile car detailing or running food carts. With these, you aren't fighting unpredictable global algorithms. Instead, you're capturing highly localized physical demand right in your own community. Both are totally booming, but they play by completely different rules.
Now I want you to look at this massive number, 60 to 80%. That is the gross profit margin solo mobile car detailers are routinely pulling in. I mean, it's wild. But why? Because they've entirely eliminated fixed facility overhead. Your labor cost is zero, because you are the labor, and you don't have a giant monthly rent check for a shop space. It's just a highly optimized economic engine.
Moving right along to Section 2, choosing your profitable niche, basically finding your sweet spot.
If you decide to go the digital route, your niche is literally everything. Now, the obvious choice might seem to be personal finance. It's got a massive RPM, which is revenue per 1,000 views, of 10 to 15 bucks. But check out the competition column. It is incredibly high. High earnings don't always mean high competition, though. Sub-niches like betrayal and revenge stories or English learning pods are secretly pulling in massive RPMs of around $11 to $12, but with low or medium channel saturation. These are your explosive micro-niches.
So how do you actually find those digital gold mines? Successful creators definitely don't just guess. They use something called the outlier detection strategy. It's like a 3-step cheat code. First, you identify specific topics that are performing 5 to 10 times better than a channel's normal average. Next, you verify the actual keyword demand to see if people are actively searching for it. And finally, you map the micro-niche to find those exact gaps your larger competitors are totally missing.
Meanwhile, out in the physical world, finding your niche is all about geography and community. Food carts, for example, capture demand by leveraging high foot traffic in established local food pods. The real trick here is making sure you don't overlap with existing cuisines. If there's already a burger cart, you bring tacos. You're simply solving a very localized gap in the market.
Okay, Section 3, the economics of starting up, digital versus physical. The difference in what you actually need to buy on day one is pretty stark. A faceless finance video on YouTube, say using freelance scriptwriters, voice actors, and video editors, might cost you anywhere from $130 to $300 a pop to produce. But switch gears to a mobile detailing setup, that requires tangible hardware. You need a water tank, a generator, a commercial pressure washer. You're looking at a $5,000 to $15,000 initial capital investment.
Let's put those costs side by side. Yes, physical businesses absolutely have way higher upfront costs for permits, legal stuff, and gear, often ranging from $1,400 to $2,000 just for an LLC and liability insurance. But here is the foundational secret they both share. They both rely on minimizing monthly fixed overhead. For a digital biz, it's just software and some freelancers. For physical, it's maybe $500 a month for vehicle maintenance and local marketing. Keeping that overhead razor thin is absolutely your ultimate cheat code to reaching profitability faster.
Which brings us to Section 4, acquiring customers, where active marketing definitely wins. If you're thinking, hey, I'll just rely on social media algorithms as my safe marketing plan, you might want to look at this. You need roughly 25 million TikTok views just to make $1,000 directly from their ad fund. 25 million? This is exactly why just hoping to go viral isn't a sustainable business model. To actually make real money, securing direct brand deals and sponsorships is essential.
Now, for physical services, grabbing customers takes a completely different, much more tech-savvy approach. You gotta ditch those generic text me to book methods. Successful local businesses like car detailers are using AI tools like Lovable to rapidly spin up custom booking systems. When you have a dedicated site that takes deposits and clearly displays your service tiers, it signals a level of professionalism that locks in those higher-paying, super reliable clients.
The whole theme here, getting customers, is an active, deliberate hustle. In the digital space, that means pitching brands with structured media kits, focusing strictly on engagement over vanity metrics like follower counts, and posting at proven times like Saturday afternoons. In the physical world, it means literally pinning your card to Google Maps and rolling out loyalty punch cards. You simply can't just sit back and wait for people to find you. Success requires proactive outreach, for sure.
All right, on to Section 5, Scaling and Diversifying, or in other words, managing your risk. Check out how a truly resilient creator breaks down their income. Notice they aren't relying entirely on platform ad revenue. Actually, scratch that. It's only about 35% of their total pie. Sponsorships make up the largest chunk at 45%, and digital products fill in the rest. This diversification is basically your armor. If an algorithm totally flips tomorrow, this creator survives without missing a beat.
Scaling obviously looks a bit different in the physical world, but the logic of risk management, it's exactly the same. For local detailing businesses, scaling safely means a clear 3-step progression. Step 1, start out mobile to validate your market with super low overhead. Step 2, move to a hybrid model, where you maybe rent a small space just for complex jobs. And finally, Step 3, use those accumulated profits to secure a premium, climate-controlled shop. You literally let the business pay for its own growth.
And finally, Section 6, Protecting Your Biz, Long-Term Operations.
All right, these are the unglamorous behind-the-scenes realities that actually keep you operational and out of trouble. You absolutely must set up an LLC and get general liability insurance. You've got to secure local permits, whether that's a food handler's card or a propane permit for your cart. You need to meticulously track tax deductions, write off that equipment, your home office percentage, all of it. And crucially, if you're a creator, you really need to build a content buffer 4 to 8 weeks out to protect your mental health. Treating your hustle like a legitimate legal entity is just non-negotiable.
Which leaves us with one incredibly crucial question. Are you building a fragile operation that could just vanish overnight? Or are you transitioning into a true, resilient entrepreneur? Look, whether you're building a global digital empire from your couch or dominating your local streets, the blueprint is exactly the same. Lower your overhead, find the gaps in your market, diversify your income streams, and protect your assets. The 2026 landscape is absolutely yours for the taking. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Now go out there and build something unstoppable.